Mike Bolhuis, good morning and welcome to the Breakfast Rush. Major General Sonona confirmed a long-standing relationship with Vusimusi Cat Matlala. Can you help our listeners understand why it's raised concerns at the Commission?
Well, the whole hearing from day one, we have seen so many generals, so many people in government, and so many businessmen and criminals in South Africa, so many people being involved in organized crime and racketeering. And this can only flourish and has come to a point where it's so big as it is now due to government and police involvement in a corrupt way. And you've not seen one of these people, not one of them, standing up and taking responsibility and admitting and saying that they'll do and give their full cooperation in order to sort it and to really protect and serve and give honest evidence and divulge all information. You've not seen that. We just see how the one after the other lies, withhold, colluded, have been involved, committed corruption, didn't do their work, didn't protect and serve, and are also now throwing each other under the bus. And the concern is the qualifications of these people in governance and these in control of our safety and security in our country. They really, really shockingly show their quality of work. They're not beyond reproach. There's no good thing to say about them. They cannot do the work. They're not qualified, and they are in extreme positions. It is shocking to just constantly hear more and more of the rotten, corrupted, unprofessional, unstable safety and security and government infrastructure in South Africa.
Can you briefly tell us, the Commission has questioned why Sonona shared internal information, specifically about the disbandment of the political killings task team with Matlala. What are the implications of this for public trust and procedural integrity within SAPS?
You know, in the years of Salebi, this is where it started. When he was under question, about Agliotti, he said very clearly to the public and in the media, Agliotti is his friend. So at that stage, we already asked, how can a head of police be befriended with somebody that is a known criminal? It's the same here with many of these situations. This has a huge effect on the public because the public, you yourselves, and us as specialist investigators wants to know. If you're a general or you're a minister, if you're going to meet somebody, you should check up who you're meeting with. You should do a thorough identification, evaluation, and a risk analysis. You should do an investigation. You cannot just meet anybody. You should keep your track record, which they don't have, beyond reproach. You cannot be seen with criminals. And if you are seen with criminals, it must be to the effect in order to identify the crime, solve the crime, and prevent the crime, which hasn't been done. Any and all of this, what we've heard, very clearly shows that they knew all along of all the crimes happening in South Africa, but they buried it. They didn't expose it. They didn't do anything about it. They colluded and absolutely covered it up to a point where they were now confronted, and now they're all over the place, and they're divulging maybe 10% of the information and definitely only protecting themselves. So the public is living in fear, uncertainty, and concern. The public cannot say this government can protect them and serve them. They don't trust them. And the same with the police. And billions of rands has been lost because for years this corruption has been going on and flourishing. Corruption can only be prevented if any information about crime is immediately dealt with on a zero tolerance basis.
Mike, the KZN Hawks boss finally revealed to the Commission the name of an individual said to be dangerous after initially refusing, citing fear. What are your thoughts on this?
How can, that would be the normal question to ask by everybody. How can a senior top policeman live in fear? What's he doing in that position then? Most, if not all of these, all of them that has been lining up in this hearing is not policemen. They are misrepresentators. They've got the stars and they've got the position, but they're not policemen. They haven't studied the books. They haven't done the proper training, and they've come into these positions by being as seen as favorites, and escalated from constables to captains to generals in a very few years.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a group, and it's with political interference with people in government as well, knowing that each has the other's back and can together, if necessary, cover things up and operate and do things together. So there's no fear. There's only fear now.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, the possibility of all these, let's call them criminals in our government and in our police, has had communications and colluded with each other. Even what they're going to say at the hearings is possible. You know, if you're in trouble and just 10% of what you've done wrong, that's rather what they would do than fully admit that they have been completely and totally wrong. And I mean, you won't get one of them stand up and say, "I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I'll give the cars back, the money back.
yeah.
Here's my cell phone. You can ask me any question and you can polygraph me. I will give my full and total support in anything, and I will protect and serve this country, and I will do whatever it takes to put right what I've done wrong." You don't get that, and you won't get that. So in the meantime, this is just getting bigger and worse. But I must reiterate, we don't have real policemen at the top, and we don't have real people in government at the top, including the president. And don't tell me the president didn't know of this all these years. They all know of any and everything always. There is no such thing as that you're in a position of the head of this country as president with all these generals and ministers that you do not know what's going on. Because if you do not know what's going on, you are in any way complicit and you're in any way responsible. Because any serious organization, if something goes wrong in the organization, who is held responsible? The boss.
Yeah.
If one of my investigators causes trouble, who does the complainants call? Me. How am I not supposed to know or have dealt with it? And I must reiterate once again, the president should have since day one, when he heard any, you are in any way complicit and you're in any way responsible. Because any serious organization, if something goes wrong in the organization, who is held responsible? The boss.
Yeah.
If one of my investigators causes trouble, who does the complainants call? Me. How am I not supposed to know or have dealt with it? And I must reiterate once again, the president should have since day one, when he heard any and he's heard it all, should have immediately acted. The same with the police, they didn't. And this is why we have this now. This is a huge monster, and it's organized crime and racketeering.
Mike, I want to thank you for your time this morning and your insights on topic, and wish you and your team all of the success in your endeavors.
Thank you. God bless. All of the best.